Hello and welcome to ESET. Today we're going to showcase ESET's Endpoint Encryption solution. First, a quick word about us. ESET is a global security software vendor with 30 plus years of cybersecurity expertise. We are trusted by more than 400,000 businesses. We have a proven multi-layered technology, and ESET offers a full security portfolio for businesses of any size. As mentioned, ESET provides a wide portfolio of tools to reduce exposure and secure our customers' environments. In this diagram, you can see how ESET solutions map to Gartner's adaptive security architecture. In the Prevent quadrant, ESET provides proactive prevention via its endpoint security products, which offer important features like device control, network attack protection, advanced memory scanner, and botnet protection. To take prevention a step forward, ESET also offers its endpoint encryption solution, which allows customers to protect their important data via powerful, easy-to-manage endpoint encryption. It is this solution that will be the focus of today's demo. Moving on, and in the lower right-hand side, we have the Detect quadrant. This is where ESET Enterprise Inspector lives. This is our EDR solution. ESET Enterprise Inspector provides customers with improved visibility and the tools for advanced threat detection and threat hunting. In the Respond quadrant, this is where ESET Enterprise Solutions fit. Not only does this include Enterprise Inspector and our ESMC, but we also offer ESET Dynamic Threat Defense, which is our cloud-based sandboxing technology. Finally, in the Predict quadrant, ESET offers its threat intelligence, ESET Virus Radar, and our We Live security blog, all of which provide up-to-date threat information, real-time feeds, and reporting to strengthen your defenses. On the endpoint front, here are some notable features. We offer advanced machine learning, cloud sandbox, and behavior-based scanning. Our solutions are resource-aware and light on the system. We offer diverse coverage, including purpose-built endpoint protection for Windows Server, Windows Workstation, Macintosh, Linux, Microsoft SharePoint Server, Microsoft Exchange Server, and mobile devices like Android and iOS. From a management perspective, our ESMC offers centrally managed, powerful IT asset management framework. Lastly, we have a long history in the market, and we continually participate in third-party testing with solid and consistent testing results. Now let's dive into the execution layer of our technology. This particular graphic shows the ESET endpoint layered scanning methodology. ESET's protection is built on a layered approach with specialized scanning for an all-angled protection perspective. Our LiveGrid cloud-connected scanning is utilized to provide up-to-date reputation and near real-time scan protection. This layered scanning uses behavior analysis performed pre, during, and post-execution. So to summarize, ESET endpoint security solutions provide complete layered behavior-based scanning protection. This includes antiviral, anti-malware, anti-spyware, our ransomware shield, network attack protection, web scanning, email scanning, and host intrusion protection. In addition, ESET Endpoint provides a suite of customizable tools for added protection. This includes web content control, device control, a two-way application and port blocking firewall, all of which are customizable and configurable via our central policy. Some important hallmarks of ESET's endpoint protection are high detection rates, low false positive rates, and a low impact on system resources. ESET's advanced technology, its multi-layered scanning, its LiveGrid cloud-based reputation system are all factors that make ESET an award-winning and easy-to-manage security solution for environments of all sizes. Okay, now let's take a closer look at ESET endpoint encryption. The greater quantity of employees that an organization has, the higher the risk of lost or stolen sensitive data. ESET endpoint encryption provides an easy-to-manage encryption solution. ESET endpoint encryption offers full disk encryption, file and folder encryption, email encryption, and removable device encryption. ESET endpoint encryption's unique web proxy allows for simplified setup and a straightforward management of your encrypted devices anywhere without requiring a VPN or special firewall exclusions. Our encryption solution offers a flexible and secure key sharing method, which makes sharing data much easier and efficient for remote staff and team collaboration. Regarding compliancy, ESET endpoint encryption is FIPS rated and uses strong 256-bit AES encryption. At this point, let's have a quick look at the ESET endpoint encryption solution. Okay, this is the ESET encryption server. Our server is a lightweight on-prem server. The lightweight server's requirements are so modest that a workstation OS can be used in most cases. It is a Windows server utilizing Microsoft SQL Server as the back-end database. We ship with Microsoft SQL Express to be used as an option. Access to the encryption server is via any standard browser. Simply log in with your admin credentials. Once in, the console is very simple and straightforward with a clean look and feel. The left panel contains customizable groups for your users and workstations to be protected. At the top of the hierarchy, we have the organization, which provides access to all the related resources, such as encryption keys, encryption key groups, your licensing, our reporting module, and our Active Directory integration. User accounts can be manually created, but via the Active Directory integration, we could bring in those accounts in groups. ESET encryption involves first deploying the ESET encryption client to your Windows workstations or laptops. This can be done in several ways. First, if the Windows endpoints are discoverable on your network, we can push the client to them via the remote install. Put your credentials in, pick your package to deploy, and we can deploy. We also include uninstalling the software in this manner as well. Alternatively, we can deploy our client via any deployment method that supports MSI, such as GPO, SCCM, PDQ, etc. First, simply pick your version that you want to deploy, and then merge that with a workstation policy. Doing so will allow this workstation post-installation to report to its respective group on the left. Once we finish with this, it will generate the MSI that can be used to deploy the ESET endpoint client to your machine. And then the machine, of course, will check in to its group, and it is now manageable. Okay, at this point, I would like to highlight a key feature of the ESET encryption solution, the web proxy. I have a quick slide that kind of talks about the overall architecture, so I'll show that now. This slide shows the architecture of the solution at a high level. Basically, the lightweight Windows server that's installed inside the network communicates to the endpoints in the field by way of a web proxy. What this does is it allows for an easy setup of the encryption solution, meaning there's no need for dedicated VPN or special firewall rules. Everything is done through port 443 and port 80. Endpoints will check into the proxy to receive any commands that have been posted by way of the central server. The ESET encryption solution is licensed per user, so once user records have been created or imported from Active Directory, they will be activated on their respective workstation. It is at this point that the machine is fully manageable, under policy, and ready to use the encryption tools. Take this workstation, for example. If we double-click on it, I can see that it has data, its status is green, there's no warnings, and we have our activated user. At this point, let's discuss full disk encryption. Full disk encryption is a key step in protecting sensitive or proprietary data. Encrypting the entire disk protects data while at rest and ensures that data is safe if the device should go missing. Full disk encryption is the most popular feature of the ESET encryption solution. It is easy to set up, it offers strong encryption of the data, it has minimal impact to the end user's day-to-day experience and requires minimal training for them, and it has a secure, easy password recovery method that does not require VPN or network connection. So let's take a look at a few areas of full disk encryption. First, let's see it from the end user's view. When full disk encryption has been configured and the disk is encrypted on the Windows workstation or laptop, the user will be presented with our pre-boot screen every time the machine is powered on. This screen offers three simple choices. Start System, which of course will unlock the disk and take the user into Windows. Reset Password, which is the help process used to unlock the disk should the user forget their password. And of course, Shutdown. This will shut down the machine. For full disk encryption authentication, ESET offers flexible options. First is a standard username and password combo that can be set up and used. If a TPM chip is present on the laptop hardware, then we could configure our full disk encryption to use a PIN or use Windows username and password. If the machine is a domain machine, then we offer our single sign-on option, which is the preferred method as the user's AD credentials will be used to unlock the disk. The benefit of this choice is that the user is only presented with one authentication and they are passed through to their Windows desktop. Let's go ahead and log into the system using the user's AD credentials. Notice how the user, after unlocking the disk, is passed through to Windows to their desktop. At this point, the ESET Endpoint Encryption client will do its initial proxy check-in, and then it will check in every hour thereafter, or whatever frequency you set. If the user should forget their password or username, ESET offers a simple password reset method. The biggest advantage to our reset process is that a VPN or network connection is not needed. Basically, the ESET encryption client contains a type of cache containing a rolling recovery password to use in case of the recovery need. At boot up, if the user cannot unlock their disk because they cannot remember their account details, they can choose the reset password option and then enter their username. At this point, a recovery index is presented and also a customizable message instructing them to call the company service desk for assistance. Okay, switching back over to the console, the admin or help desk staff can find the user in question via a search and then open the machine record. From here, the FDE credentials and then the user in question and go through the recovery process. This is the recovery index that I was talking about earlier. And then at this point, the recovery password is provided. We provided via phonetics to avoid confusion over the phone. Okay, switching back over to the end user's machine, this is where the user would enter the one-time password. This will, of course, take the user to the Windows login, where they'll log in with their normal Windows credentials. The initial web proxy check-in will capture the credentials used, and then it will register those as the new full disk encryption credentials to be used for the next login. Again, the benefit of this recovery process is that it's easy to use for the user, and a VPN or network connection is not needed. Setting up full disk encryption on an endpoint machine is a pretty straightforward process. Basically, the process is wizard-driven and performed by the admin from the encryption console. The process can also be automated if using domain machines. Let's have a closer look at this now. Basically, find the machine that you want to enable the full disk encryption on. In this case, this machine is already encrypted. This one is not. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process now. Double-click on the record. Go to the full disk encryption. This brings up the wizard, and we step through it. We do a quick check for incompatibilities in the hardware. And then we also offer up the TPM choice or the username and password or SSO option. In my case, I do not have a TPM chip, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this option. Choose your licensed user. And at this point, it presents the full disk encryption credentials that you can use and some options for password attempts and recovery password attempts. More often than not, though, if the machine is a domain machine, you'll want to use single sign-on, as this is the easiest path for the end user. We can also change the administrator FDE credentials here. This is that backdoor account that I was talking about. At this point, choose which partition you want to enable and put encryption on. And then we select our start mode. I can do a safe start for additional checks, or I could just presume normal if I know that my hardware is safe. Clicking start will start the process and post this out to the proxy for the end user to get once they check into the proxy. From the user side, if they go ahead and sync with the proxy, they'll get that command that was posted out for them. At this point, a message is being presented saying the administrator wants to put full disk encryption on this machine. Since I used the single sign-on option, it's asking me for my network credentials. I would type those in now, and then verify. Click OK. And at this point, the encryption process starts. This is a low priority process that runs in the background. If the user should shut this machine down, this would be paused and then it would resume at the next time the machine was powered up. The user could just simply minimize it. Okay, that was an initial look at ESET encryption in general, and specifically the full disk encryption option that we offer. Now let's move on and look at some other encryption features like file on folder encryption, email encryption, and removable media encryption. With removable media encryption, the enforcement is very powerful and is done from the policies within the server. For example, if we go to a particular group, we go to the policy that controls the behavior of the software for that group, and then go down to the removable media area. This one item right here controls whether the device, such as a jump drive, is allowed to be used. If we open this up, you can see I can keep it open and allow it, straight away block it, give it read-only access, or I could force full disk encryption on the device, or forced file encryption on the device, or I can give the user a choice. Another nice feature with removable media is the allow read-write encrypted mode. With this option enabled, basically any jump drive could be brought into the organization with data on it already. Because we're going to force encryption on the device, any data that's coming from the protected machine to the device must be encrypted, but any data on the machine will be masked and you won't see it. So any data brought in from the outside will not be allowed to be moved to the protected machine. So let's take a look at this now on an endpoint. On this endpoint, I'm going to insert a jump drive. And you'll see that the user is prompted with a message saying that any data that goes to this drive must be encrypted. Another useful feature with ESET encryption and removable media is Encryption plus Go. This is an EXE that you place on any jump drive, and it will encrypt data on the drive using a password. Encryption plus Go is ideal for protecting data in transit, as the data can be shared even with recipients that do not have the ESET encryption client installed on their machine. For example, I'll insert a USB drive right now, connect, and at this point I see the EXE. Simply click on the EXE, enter the password, and it unlocks the partition on that drive. And now I could edit this document, add more documents, save it, and then pass that jump drive on to another recipient. Email encryption is another useful feature of the ESET encryption solution. We offer an Outlook plugin that allows you to encrypt your emails and send to other users that have ESET encryption installed on their machines. Simply type up your email and then encrypt it. With this, it's going to ask you which key you want to use to encrypt the email. You could be granted several keys, or you could use a password. In this case, I'm going to choose the company key, and it encrypts the message. We could also encrypt the subject line, or mask it rather, and then encrypt the attachment. This is available through options via the plugin. If you're sending encrypted email to a recipient who does not have ESET encryption installed on their machine, we offer the viewer. The viewer can be downloaded from our website and simply run. And from here, just copy the encrypted text, hyphen to hyphen, and paste into the viewer. It would ask for the password. Type the password. And it decrypts the data for you. Same thing goes with the encrypted attachment. Simply drag that into this window, and it would ask for the password, and it would decrypt that as well. Okay, that was a quick look at the ESET endpoint encryption solution. So as a summary of the solution, here are some key points. ESET encryption aids in compliancy with FIPS-validated 256-bit AES encryption. It has minimal system requirements, meaning a lightweight server or even a workstation if needed. It is Active Directory integrated for ease of management, and it offers a unique web proxy connection, which means that there's no need for dedicated VPN or firewall exceptions. Overall, ESET's endpoint encryption is an essential tool for data security by providing safe, strong encryption for files, folders, email, removable media, or entire disks. ESET's encryption solution is an easy-to-manage and powerful solution for organizations of all sizes.